Let's go. Well, hello. My name is Ben Bires. I'm here at the lovely Auric Gallery talking about my show behind me. Um, kind of background, I guess, to start with Resurfaced. I thought it was kind of a cool play on words. Is hopefully you see the words red, and in between the surface represents the water that reflects the red rocks. So the background behind the whole show. My wife and I moved here 8 years ago, and we were kind of, I guess, obsessed with Red Rocks there for a while. So I feel like that's all I was focused on, and it became this kind of been there, done that situation. So I put it aside, and then I wanted to bring water to the forefront, which I love being next to running water, even if it's a lake, a stream, or anything that's just close to water. So there's not many places here where there's water next to Red Rocks. We had to do some traveling. We've been to Moab quite a few times. We took a trip to Sedona. I'll do some plays on reflection of like ice or even just a puddle, just something to tie the two together. So the idea is resurfacing my appreciation for Red Rocks. And I think it's coming from the East Coast, which I didn't mention yet. We're from Western Pennsylvania, very small town, and never saw anything like what we have here. So again, the fascination with these towering cliffs of red walls was just like, wow. And then next to the blue sky, that combination was pretty sweet. First time was in 2014 when we first traveled out west with my parents and my wife and I. Then moving out here, it's like, okay, we had the decision to go where we want. And that's kind of where this connection of water in the desert is kind of a cool, I thought, concept for me. So that was the idea of bringing Red Rocks to the forefront again, because for a while I feel like, I don't know, everyone's seen the iconic scenes of like Pikes Peak behind Garden of Gods. It's like I'm not really interested in painting those iconic poster card views. I would rather travel and go off the beaten path and find a different scene, a more simple scene, but just capture. For me, it's trying to capture either like morning light, evening light, sometimes in the middle of the day, but overall I'm just trying to capture the light of the scene. So otherwise, I will say a couple things about this show that's a little different. I've never really gone into frames before. So the good friends of mine over at Orly's Frame Shop has helped me out doing something a little different. Going a lot smaller is much more reasonable because I've, in the past, liked to go big, up to like 4 or 5 feet canvases. It was a lot of fun. I've learned a lot in the process of those larger scales. It does make more of like an impression, I feel like, on someone looking at it and if they're right in front of it. But going smaller was kind of a nice transition. So I feel like I was able to knock them out much quicker, sometimes in one session, sometimes a couple sessions, but it was one of those things where I just was able to like move quicker, I guess. So the smaller frame, and the other thing that I like to mention that I've been talking to people is the new thing I've been working with is a lot of texture underneath. So like one, just getting a canvas from the store has gesso on it, but I put 3 layers now. So I like to kind of put like a first layer with a big brush, let it dry, a second layer in the opposite direction, and then the kicker has been this third layer, just kind of filling in the gaps and just creating these really cool textures. So what I was going for is this Western themed show, kind of beat up, different frames, like they didn't really want to have every single thing be in the same frame. That was the original idea, so I rolled with that. And I wanted to have this kind of rustic vibe. So I went with that with the frames and the small one, but the texture has been fun. So like what I used to do was have a lot of paint, and now I'm using a lot less paint. And let's just say like these raised areas, I'm able to just take a brush and just kind of do a drag of paint, and it just creates some cool effects that just let it kind of do its thing. So a couple of those things have been new for me. Otherwise, it's just, bringing back this sense of like, I just fell in love with the West. I mean, I just went home last month, and everything's so green. It was a great place to grow up. Lush, thick, dense forest, just canopy of just trees. We don't have that here, but the trade-off is, I mean, the weather is just kind of hard to beat out here. So I'm always drawn to the blue skies. So we had to get away from gray skies from Pennsylvania. Landed here, made a name for ourselves, and this is kind of where we landed. This is home now. So I like being able to just drive 10 minutes and the mountains are right there. There's not as many red rocks here as I'd like, but that's okay. So that's an excuse to go travel and go visit other places. So for the most part, it's just been a fun little side direction of the project to put together what I think, compared to my other shows, which is more focused on water, this has a more, let's say, a cohesive feel of color scheme and subject matter, I think, than the past shows. So I've been really excited to get this out here, and here we are. So always thanks to Abby and Gundy for having us, giving us a chance to showcase what we've been working on for like the past 6 months or so. And it's finally here. So here we go. I'm cool with that.